Okay, this is a session that I just wanted to show you how to look for data on the STORET database. We're going to, the easiest for me, it's the US EPA STORET database, and the easiest for me to do is just to go to the Google search and then click through. What we're specifically looking for is to download data. We can then browse on the modernized STORET database. You'll see data supplied before 1999 then is on the legacy STORET database. We'll just look at the modernized STORET database, click there. We don't want to download stations, we want to download results. This is where the interface has changed quite a bit. And we can go through all these, but I've always found that the easiest, especially in South Carolina, is a little bit more specific, is we're going to select and search for organization and station. So let's go ahead and select an organization. And what you want to do, this list may take a while to come up, but what you're looking for is 21 SC60WQ. So it's, let's just go down and get it to 60, 21 SC60WQ, South Carolina Department of, SCDHEC basically. And we're just going to look for one station under search stations. I'm going to put a string in here, CW231. If I hit search stations, you'll see it gives me that one option. Let me cancel this and say, maybe I don't know exactly which station I want. It will then come up with a whole bunch of stations here that begin with CW. They're all in the Catawba River. The S prefix would be for Saluda River. So we'll be able to learn those things at a later stage. Main thing I wanted you guys to do is look at what we've got over here. I'm going to hit cancel and just go to CW231. Hit search stations again. Select this, and you'll see it's it's actually on the Catawba River in the Lake Wateree headwaters. Now that I've selected that, I can go down to this point over here. Gives me a date range. Obviously anything before 1999 won't show up anyway. Anything up to, these data are at best 2 years old. So we have to keep that in mind. But I'm going to leave this date range open and see what data we get. We're going to go down here. I am going to warn you that this is a little bit difficult, so we'll look for a characteristic search of, we're looking, say, for fecal coliform. We go FEC, and you'll see here fecal coliform. We can also look for, I'm going to go dissolved oxygen, so I can just put in a keyword, and it happens to be this one. Just because not a criterion, just because a parameter is shown in STORET doesn't necessarily mean people have taken the data, and I'll show you with this. Now we can do all sorts of other things, but I think this is all we really want. Actually, let's do one more. We go to phosphorus, and let's say, again, this is kind of tricky. I believe it's phosphate phosphorus SP. If you don't select the exact right parameter, it's not going to come up. But if we hit continue, now it basically tells me we've got 257 records. So 250, we've got 270 records of data. It says this is your user profile public. Enter your email address. And mine's auto-entered. And I'm just going to give myself a suffix, a prefix of KLO, and I'm going to ask them to send it immediately. So we're going to hit that button, and it is now sent it off to my this zip file off to my email address. Now what we have to do is just wait for the email to come through, and then the next part of it is I'll show you how we can import this into Microsoft Excel. And what you see, I've just opened up the zip file. This is in the MacBook, so it's a little bit different, but the same idea. We've got three things: activity groups. If you open metadata up, it just gives you kind of a lot of metadata that of all of the stations that DHEC monitors all across the country, or not the country, the state. That's not what we want. We're looking for regular results. Now, if you open it up like this, it doesn't make much sense. So let's leave that there. I'm going to open my Excel workbook up. Now, in Microsoft, in a regular PC, you can actually take this file and just drag and drop it into the Excel spreadsheet, and it'll get everything the same. But I'm just going to select all in this text file. I'm going to copy and highlight that first column, or the first row, first column, A1, and then paste. What it does is very conveniently pastes everything in here. Now, I neglected to, you can actually get rid of some of these fields because they're really redundant. You can get rid of some of these fields if you wanted to before you imported them, but I just left all of them. So what I'm going to do is get rid of some of these columns. I just go highlight the column and delete, and I'm just going to highlight a bunch of them. If you hit the Command key in Apple and the Control key in a PC, you're going to be able to affect the same thing. We want to get rid of these, but we don't want to get rid of the activity start. That's our date. Start zone is not important. Medium is not important. It's all the same thing. We want to keep the characteristic name. And we can get rid of this stuff for the time being. And we'll not worry about the analytical procedure ID. That's basically, at least for in this, they're looking, how did they analyze for fecal coliform? So I'm going to delete that as well. So really now we've got a list of data here. I'm going to use my sorter, basically go to data and sort first of all by characteristic name, and then I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to sort then by activity start. And when I hit the OK button, what you'll see is now we have dissolved oxygen is obviously the first characteristic name alphabetically. And you'll see we've got data from 2001, and it actually stops in about 2008. So that's new. It was only till 2006 at one stage. So we've got data until 2008 for dissolved oxygen, fecal coliform from 2001 through to 2008, and phosphate phosphorus 2001 to 2008. We'll talk later on about why they don't measure more often, and it's basically a money issue. Here you'll see something. They were able to measure phosphorus, but it was less than the quantitative limit. In other words, it was there, but they wouldn't be able to tell you exactly how much it was. Over here, under fecal coliform, is because of their dilutions, it's present and greater than the quantitative limit. So it's greater than some number, and sometimes one has to guess that number, especially if you don't know what their dilutions were. So that's kind of a very, very quick look at how we get data together in from STORET and into Excel. But hopefully this gives you an idea of how to import data from not from MS Access, import data from STORET, and then put it into your Microsoft Excel file. And that gets you ready to start manipulating some of the data, drawing charts, doing a few regressions, that kind of thing. Hope this was informative. Let me know if it wasn't and see how I can improve. Thank you very much.